Hello, hello. This is Gerald Salenti. It's Thursday, March 12th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news. And how about that nice sound from Smokey Hormel? Yeah. And he donated that to us to put some hot jazz on there. We used to have a lot of jazz, but you can't put anything up without paying for a copyright. And so he gave that to us because jazz is where my heart is. Yep. Love to boogie. You got to boogie before the lights go out because tomorrow is iffy. No sounds like that anymore. No, I got it. Hey, listen to me. I've been hearing the same beat now for 30 years, maybe more. Time for something new. Anyway, on to the market front. What happened over here today? Well, the Dow Industrial Average jumped to another record high on Friday. This is just amazing. It keeps going up. It keeps going up. And you know why? Because when you read your trends journal, the Fed, inflate by all means necessary. That's Gregory Mannarino. This whole thing is a joke. It's just cooked, the markets. And again, we're forecasting the Biden bounce. It's going to be a bounce. What's going to bring it down? Well, we're doing our best to tell you when, where, and how. So the markets are up. NASDAQ was down a little bit. Gold's taking a hit. You know, it's in the 1725 range. And we just put out what the bottom we see happening in the Trends Journal, where it could go. And one of the things to remember, this is brand new. You're looking at Bitcoin again, it's at 57,000. So the money that would have gone into gold and silver, a lot of it's going into cryptocurrencies. And that's pushing down the prices. But long term, we're still very bullish on gold. And for example, today Iran announced that they're going to do what they can to ban cryptocurrency trading. So you're going to see one of that after another. So there's a lot of volatility that's a reality in the Bitcoin world, the cryptocurrency world, that does not exist in the safe haven assets world of silver and gold. I say that in an honest way. I mean honest because the game is rigged. Slimy, low-life pieces of garbage, scum crap, like the JP Morgan Chase gang, were caught rigging it, and they had to pay a $900 million fine in 2020 for rigging the gold and silver markets. $900 lousy million when they ruined the lives of how many people that invested in this and saw their profits go down. And how many billions did they make? So what I'm saying is these are the facts, but then there's the reality. And the reality is that it's a criminal system that's in control of most of the world today. It's criminality at the highest level. Whether they're locking us down, taking away our freedoms, starting wars, slaughtering people, one thing after another, but it keeps going on. So the criminal group is in charge. End of story. And what else do we have here? Here we go. U.S. government budget deficit through February hit an all-time high of $1.05 trillion. I love the Biden thing. He gave $1.9 trillion economic stimulus. How about $2 trillion? That's like saying $99.99, you know? Myra McGinnis, president of the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, said that if all temporary provisions and relief passed on Wednesday get extended, it could add up to $14 trillion of national debt over the next decade, double the $1.9 trillion advertised price tag. That's a year. How bad is the game rigged? Biden to pick Liang for key Treasury job. President Biden intends to nominate Nellie Liang, an economist who specialized in financial stability during her career at the Federal Reserve. Isn't that a nice, ignorant name? Federal Reserve. They're not federal. They're private banksters. Oh, I'm glad he put a woman in there. It makes a big difference. Oh, to join the other woman, Janet Yellen from the Federal Reserve. Again, men, women, black, white, green, yellow, don't want to hear it. Good and bad comes in everything. I'm making this point because the Federal Reserve, the banksters are in charge of the Treasury. With Janet Yellen, the former head of the Federal Reserve, and now he's bringing another one. A guy brought in a couple of weeks ago, Lipton from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. You can see where this thing is if you look. Japan maintains monetary easing as jab rollout falters. The Bank of Japan's biggest review of monetary policy in almost 5 years will maintain easing, but prepare the ground for a nimble response to changing conditions, according to the deputy governor. They signaled the central bank wanted to leave the yield curve unchanged when it announced a new outcome later this next week. The Bank of Japan has been conducting an all-out program of monetary stimulus. You ready? Since 2013. The currencies are worthless. It's a criminal gang that's running and destroying the world. They're money junkies and drug addicts. You must get their vaccinations. You must take their drugs. You must do what you're told. And you must obey what interest rates they put on and what kind of monetary policy they create. You are nothing more than a plantation worker on this global plantation of Slavelandia. And what else do we have here? Very important. Japan all in on hybrids over electric. You know, so far, you know how many electric cars are out there? You see all these Tesla stocks and all the ones going through the roof. 3%. 3% sold. That's it. I'm mentioning this because we're going to have a big article, a special by Ben Davis in next week's Trends Journal, not only on hybrids, but hydrogen and other alternative energies. This is where the future's going. And we got here from CNBC, states lift restrictions, drop mask mandates, and reopen businesses despite warnings from Biden officials. Warnings from Biden officials. Again, I mention this because they keep opening up and put different rules. New Jersey restaurants will be allowed to reopen at half capacity, up from just 35% beginning Monday, March 19th. Well, I say 52%, and I say March 20th. They're making this crap up. Little crap heads, like scum that they are. Look at their names. Little Gavin, what's his name, Murphy over there? Not Murphy, Gavin Newsom. Murphy over there in Jersey. Little clown wolf in Pennsylvania. Gruesome Newsom. Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this little piece of crap telling you what to do. Could you imagine it? Of course you can. Hey, I haven't seen Lola. What happened to Lola? L-O-L. Oh, there she is. There she is. Yeah. Hey, Biden. Got lockjaw? How come you're not putting Lola out there to talk? They're making this stuff up. They're making it up. They're making it up, and the people buy it. Doctors, healthcare workers to be punished for anti-vax COVID claims. This is out of Australia, the major newspaper. Doctors, nurses, and pharmacists who spread COVID anti-vaccination claims will face harsh petitions, including being stripped. Hey, Cuomo might like that one. Being stripped, huh? Oh, of their ability to practice by the medical watchdog. What medical watchdog? A little poodle of crap. Medical watchdog. The language they use. You must obey the medical watchdog. We get paid off from the drug dealers. The national medical boards at the Australian Health Practitioner Regulatory Agency, FUC, whatever, you know. There's no place for anti-vaccination messages. This is the joint statement supported by, yeah. And you ready for this? They spout false or deceptive misinformation to patients on social media that could undermine the national vaccination program as the AstraZeneca vaccine rollout begins. Oh, right? This is just out. Denmark, Iceland, Norway suspend AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccination after blood clot reports. Oh, this isn't from a third world, I mean, a conspiracy theory. This is major news out of Euronews. They're not doing it. But yet you're not allowed to question them by some little craphead called Watchdog. And the people buy it. The people believe it. I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm about, you know, I can't go on fighting like this alone. You know, we need your support, and a lot of people are supporting us. But we have to unite to fight this. I'm showing you right in front of us lies in front of your eyes, and people believing it and sucking up to it and bowing down to it. So please do what you can to support us in any way you can. The Trends Journal, there's no magazine like it. Doctors caution to stop encouraging people to breach pandemic public health orders. This is out of a screen capture of Dr. Peter Maury's Facebook page describes a link about skewed COVID-19 results as false information. Maury has been cautioned by the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Newfoundland and Labrador to cease encourage. You're not allowed to say anything or provide any facts that are against what they're saying. Today, Al Jazeera. It's only about a 5-6 page story. The battle to stop the spread of vaccine misinformation online. And talking about misinformation, the Merkel bloc fears voter wrath after mask affair. Mask affair. What's the mask affair? Christian Democrats campaign, blah, blah, blah. The mask affair has nothing to do with blah, blah, blah. Voters have been digesting the news that 2 MPs from Angela Merkel's center-right party. What's center-right? How about up the middle crap? Center-right. What a bunch of shit this is. The political systems are scum. Center-right, left. Pfft. Anyway. Earned substantial commissions on deals to procure needed masks during the first wave of the coronavirus pandemic. Little slimy, gutless boys that people vote for do a dirt. Everybody got to wear a mask. Everybody wear a mask. Hey, you guys want to sell our country some masks? Here, you give us a kickback. You got it? Yeah. No, they're campaign contributions. French theaters occupied as protesters demand reopening. Self-employed Europeans fall through the cracks. Before the pandemic struck, around 14% of EU's workers were self-employed, compared to 6% of the United States workforce, according to government data. This is from the Wall Street Journal. I mentioned this because I mentioned this last week, and somebody corrected me and said that there were more like 28%. And I looked it up, and that person was right. So I don't know where they got the data. But I'm mentioning this, I mean, the Wall Street Journal did. But I'm mentioning this for 2 reasons. The bigs are taking over, and the numbers shrink of how many people are self-employed. All the non-essential businesses have been really hit hard, and things are just going to keep getting worse. There's going to be a fake recovery. And in France, Occupy, Occupy, Occupy was the call for the culture section of the union to open up. Yellow vest protests that rocked the country 2 years ago. They want to keep going with it. And there's going to be more and more protests. This is a story in the Toilet Paper Record about the elderly in Canada. Around 66% of the coronavirus terminal COVID-19 victims lived in nursing homes, all right? The number was up to 80%, now it's down to 66. Why are you closing down an entire country, little scum politicians led by little girl boy Trudeau? Nothing true about the doughboy. A piece of dough. 66% of the people, and you're locking down the place, and everybody keeps buying it. Oh, rising rate of violent crime shakes Atlanta. Don't worry about it. How many go up? Only 80%. Violent crime has been on the rise in Atlanta this past summer. From January, it's up to Atlanta it's up 80% with the same period last year. And what else do we have? Major U.S. cities, Council of Criminal Justice of 34 cities. In the report, 29 saw annual increases of homicides, including Atlanta with 38% increase, New York 43, and Chicago only 55. Migrants, boat sinks off coast, killing 39. I'm mentioning this because this is going to continue to escalate, increase, and keep getting worse. All over the world, the countries are going down, more and more migrants, more children cross border illegally in the United States. We're looking at the number of unaccompanied children crossing the border illegally rose 63% in February. All right? Could you see where all this is going? Senegal. Opposition politician released after mass protests. Again, this is West Africa. More and more destabilization up in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, Sudan, Eritrea. The Tigray incident going on. I'm mentioning this again, not only because of the unrest in Africa, but thousands of mostly young people brought the capital Dakar to a standstill in the past weeks as they're fighting the military. And it's the same thing. I've been saying this for how long? Youth revolution. This is from yesterday's Wall Street Journal. Youths take the lead in Myanmar protests. We've only been reporting this now for well over a month. The youth revolution is real. Great stories in the Trends Journal. Argentina's economy slows to a crawl. Israel hits Syria-bound Iranian oil. This is in yesterday's Wall Street Journal. A story about Israel has targeted at least a dozen vessels bound for Syria and mostly carrying Iranian oil out of concern that petroleum profits in funding extremism. Yeah, okay. That was yesterday. Today, Iran state shipping firm reports terrorist attack on Europe-bound cargo vessel as explosion rips through hull. Fire breaks out. All right? How long have I been writing about this? How long have we been warning you in the Trends Journal about this? Hey, you see oil prices? Yeah, they're now around $70 a barrel for Brent crude. This breaks out, you're going to see $80 to $100 barrel. And then you know what you're going to see? An economic crash. Inflation's skyrocketing. They're holding down the numbers. If we don't have peace, it's going to be war. This is hell. UN food chief visits Yemen as children starve. The head of the United Nations World Food Program visited Yemen and described the conditions he saw in the country to reporters as hell. Yep. Brought to you by the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner Barack Obama when they launched it from the United States in March of 2015 from Washington, D.C. Anthony Blinken, our new Treasury Secretary of State, immediately went to Saudi Arabia to help them fight the Houthis in Yemen, which Saudi Arabia, by the way, attacked. They're up on the border over there back in 1934. And Biden was for it. Trump is for it. Nobody's talking about this. Let's talk about the COVID war. Let's forget about the destruction going on around the earth by murderous people slaughtering millions. Only 10 million people are suffering from poverty in Yemen. The suffering of Yemen is a direct result of U.S.-backed Saudi-led war. There's a raging, yep. And then, to show you how stupid it is, and the imbeciles and arrogant morons, bureaucrats, city tab for each inmate in New York City, you ready? $447,337 a year for each inmate. Inmate, it's a rigged system. The members of the gang are in the system. This is totally moronic, stupid crap. Look at the shitheads running us. De Blasio, could you get a bigger shithead than that? Yeah, I mentioned Trudeau. How about Cuomo? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. How about Gruesome Newsom? How about Macron? Look who's running and ruining the countries. The people better stand up and fight for freedom. $447,000, almost $500,000 a year to put one person in a penitentiary. The whole system is corrupt in front of our eyes. But it's going to get better because Biden just announced it yesterday. He said that Americans are on track to return to the semblance of normal life by July 4th, as long as they took advantage of the chance to get a vaccination and did not permanently abandon mask wearing, which again, according to that Danish study, they're ineffective. Oh, and the CDC study that showed they're only 1.32% effective. And social distancing. Yeah, when you're sitting down, it's okay to eat, but when you stand up, you got to put the mask. And the wind only blows 27 feet, but we're going to stop it at 6 feet. Yeah, that one. And vaccinations. 4th of July with your loved ones is the goal. Why, I say 5th of July. They're making this crap up. This is Gerald Celente. That's some of today's trends in the news. And check out this Trends Journal. 136 pages, not one ad. Not one ad. Who's behind the curtain? The COVID Wizard. Another great work of art by Anthony Freda. Thank you and good night. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.